Hello everybody! Today I'm doing a chatty little sketchbook with me, draw with me. Just a time for us to relax together, to pull out our sketchbooks, and to have essentially a simulated phone call with a friend to just draw and chat and chill and have a fun time. Today I plan to just work on these two pieces that I sketched out. I want to do, specifically today, I want to do some watercolor because, like, a little bit back, I drew these and I just did them with my Fudenosuke, like, calligraphy pen, and it literally is my favorite pen ever. It's been my favorite art supply for like lining and sketching, and then adding watercolor to it, just having a fun time. A lot of what I'll be talking about today as well is Harry Potter because like lately I have been going through all of the movies, watching them for the very first time because I have never watched or read Harry Potter, so I've just been really inspired to like draw the characters and like scenes and stuff. So like Ron, Hermione, Harry. I want to finish up these two. So this is a drawing of Harry and Hedwig because I love Hedwig. I think Hedwig is super cute. And Harry. And then this is Hermione. I'm not the biggest fan. But I think I'll still try to finish it anyway. There's this one artist, you probably know her. Her name is Helen G. And Helen does a lot of really, really, like, fabulous, outstanding Harry Potter artwork. So the way that Helen, like, stylizes Harry's hair, I really, really admire. So that's what I tried to, like, channel here on this one. I think what I'm gonna move on to is lining this piece. And then after I line it, I'll like clean up and erase some of the pen sketch, and then I'll go into watercolor. Tee. I want to just take a second to look at my nails, by the way. I have started getting into gel nails. I'll probably talk about it a little bit later, but they're like a dark red, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's like Gryffindor, like Harry Potter. Pretending like I planned that. So far, regarding Harry Potter, I'm on the second to last movie, and I'm about like halfway through the movie, and I'm just gonna give like a giant spoiler warning for Harry Potter. But if you have watched it, I'm just gonna yap for a little bit, you know? So, I love Hedwig. Hedwig is Harry Potter's pet owl. And from what I can gather at Hogwarts, owls are one of the pets you can choose to have. So like, Hermione, for example, has Hookshanks, her cat. And Harry has Hedwig, his fluffy, cute owl. And Hedwig is so cute. Ever since the first movie, I really, really loved Hedwig, and I just think that she's so cute. And then in Deathly Hallows Part 1, when they took the potion to like make themselves look like Harry to help escape, and Hedwig is like trying to protect Harry while Harry and Hagrid are on the motorcycle. Dude, Hedwig dies. I was so sad. I was like, wait, that didn't just happen, did it? No. I I went and I texted my friend. I was like, Hedwig died? What? No! Because she's seen them all before, and she was the person who was very adamant of me watching them. So I immediately texted her, and I was like, no, Hedwig! Wouldn't we love Hedwig? No, Hedwig, no! Yeah, I can definitely see the, like, mass appeal of this series. And, like, for me, I really like it because I myself have a very small, close-knit group of friends that, like, mean the world to me. And seeing that portrayed in film, like with Harry, Hermione, and Ron, like just that closeness and value of having like close friends that are your ride or die no matter what, it makes me really happy because like movies like Star Wars, it has the classic like guy, girl trio. But Harry Potter portrays that from like childhood friends growing up together and like maturing as people together and growing with those people. And I really like that because that's something that I see within my own friends. So like seeing that in film, it makes me really happy. Like in contrast to Star Wars, where like Han, Luke, and Leia, they become close and they become really good friends, but they didn't grow up together and they didn't really impact each other's lives until they were like all adults or young adults. So like as a viewer, as a reader, Harry Potter is more meaningful and relatable in that sense, and I just really like it. I also think like where I live right now, it is like currently winter and it's really like cold and dreary, and like low-key for the first time in my life I'm getting hit with like seasonal depression. Like it's really like affecting me in my mood and like just how I feel about life. And Harry Potter, like those movies, they kind of like romanticize winter and make winter appear or just feel more dreamy and fantasy-like. Almost similar to Narnia, where Narnia really romanticizes winter and just makes it feel really magical and kind of unreal. So I think, unironically, Harry Potter is helping with my seasonal depression, with helping me to romanticize winter instead of just feeling depressed that there's no sunlight and that I can't go outside. I guess I should talk about my Harry Potter house, because I mean, there's some of you who probably care, right? Some of you probably are wondering. I took like an online quiz. It wasn't the official Harry Potter quiz, but it was like a BuzzFeed one, and I really liked that one because my results were that I was a Ravenclaw, but I am a Hufflepuffy Ravenclaw. Like, I probably wouldn't get along like really well amongst my fellow Ravenclaws, but I have like the heart of a Hufflepuff, the like the drive and ambitions and the motivations of Ravenclaw. So when I read that, I was like, okay, so basically I'm Luna, which I kind of get, because before I watched Harry Potter, the same friend who like recommended it to me, she said like once, they're like, oh, you remind me of Luna from Harry Potter. And I was like, okay. And then I watched it, and now I kind of get where she's coming from, because Luna is a Ravenclaw, but she has the heart and the kindness of a Hufflepuff. I more so get where my friend was coming from when she said that, and I think that's kind of cool. Because out of all of the girl Harry Potter characters, the one I probably closest see myself in is honestly probably Luna. What I admire about her as a character is that she's so like unapologetically herself, and it doesn't even occur to her that other people are like judging her or view her as weird, because she's just living life. She's just being herself, being happy, doing her own thing. And I really admire that. And I think you should do what makes you feel the most authentic to yourself. And if I felt like I had to act a certain way, I would just be living as a shell of myself, really. And I think that's a really powerful message that young girls can see in Luna. People can see when you are yourself, and that's really powerful. Oh, Harry and Hedwig are so cute. Hedwig is so cute, and I just love her. It's making me like owls more. You know, hypothetically, if I were to be a student at Hogwarts, would I have a pet cat? Or an owl? Wait, who's that one guy? The groundskeeper dude? Who has the cat with the red eyes? I love his cat. Every time I see him on screen and he's holding his little kitty, I like audibly will go, kitty! 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 So you may think that my Hogwarts pet would be a kitty. But who knows, maybe I'll be one of the first students to have an owl and a cat, you know? Wouldn't that be crazy? All of the Potterheads are screaming in the comments, like, that's not lore accurate, actually. In Hogwarts, you're only allowed to have one pet, so actually that wouldn't be possible. I don't care. I think it'd be fun. It's a fantasy wizard world, okay? I'm allowed to dream. I'm allowed to make headcanons. Let me have fun. Have you ever noticed that Hedwig's feet are like really fluffy and cute? That's like one of the things I noticed about Hedwig, is that she has the cutest little tootsies. This is where you see that I really never ever draw feathers. Hey! Oh, gonna use my kneaded eraser real quick. I guess I can talk about some of my other hyperfixations. I really love Pokemon. Like the games, the anime, the merch. I really love Pokemon a lot. And one of the things I've been somewhat obsessed with, at least like the past few months to a year, has been like Pokemon plushies. And I've low-key become a Pokemon plush collector. And I've contemplated like making a YouTube video, like showcasing my current Pokemon plush collection, but then I was like, is that too irrelevant, like, to my channel? Like, would my audience care? But then I was like, you know what? I have free will, and actually, I can do whatever I want. And if I want to yap about my Pokemon plushies, nobody's stopping me. I heard another YouTuber say this, and I think I really agree, is that people don't know what they want from me until I give it to them. I may think that that's not what my audience wants from me, but truly, at the end of the day, I determine what I make, and then once I make it, then that's what my audience will want, if that makes sense. Just a little mindset thing. I think that's as good as I'm going to get it. Going to get it, mate. Can you tell I've been watching a lot of English, British TV? Here is my watercolor set. I kind of personalized it since the last time I think I used watercolors on my channel. But I'm just gonna open it up and have it over to here. That's brilliant. I'm speaking as if I'm in Harry Potter. I'm gonna work from skin to hair to clothes to head wig. I think that's the order I'm gonna go in. I guess since I started talking about Pokemon plushies, it would make sense for me to talk about games. I'm really excited to hear more about Legends ZA, the Legends game that's gonna take place in the Kalos region. And Kalos low-key has a really special place in my heart because during COVID, I watched the entirety of Pokemon XYZ, which is the anime season that takes place in Kalos. And XYZ was genuinely one of the things that was a light in my life during the pandemic. You know, everything was kind of dark in the world. There was a lot of anxiety, a lot of confusion, a lot of, like, what do we do now? The world was just very uncertain. Pokemon was a constant in my life, and XYZ was something I could turn to for joy and just a sense of escapism. And I do believe that escapism can be both good and bad, and it can affect you positively or it can affect you negatively. And I think during that time, that's truly what I needed, was a fantasy world with a group of friends, having a good time, and just growing together. Kind of like Harry Potter, but that's what I saw in XYZ, and Ash and Serena and Clement, and just that side of the characters. It just really made an awful time in the world a little bit brighter. So for that reason, I'm really excited to play a game that takes place in Kalos, because it just holds a very, very near and dear spot to me. And I never had a DS or 3DS growing up, so I've never played X and Y myself, even though I would really, really like to. But the fact that a mainline Kalos game is coming, and I'll be able to play it on Switch, is really amazing, and I'm really looking forward to it. I genuinely am. I'm genuinely super excited. And like, speaking of the Legends games, I got Legends Arceus a few months ago, and I'm not super far into it, like maybe just a few hours in. Not super far in much of anything, because I just really haven't had a whole lot of time to commit to it. I'm currently a senior in high school, so I'm really busy. I just overall don't have a lot of time to really game or indulge in other hobbies. I really want to play more of Legends Arceus though, just because that game has gotten a lot of really good praise from a lot of Pokemon fans. And a lot of people even say that it's like their favorite Pokemon game they've ever played. So I definitely want to play more. Like, that's not the only game that's like on my radar. I got Animal Crossing New Horizons, I think in 2021, and I've talked about it a little bit here and there on my channel, but when I was younger, during that time, I was a slave to work, particularly artwork and YouTube, and I would have immense guilt surrounding doing anything that I didn't consider to be productive or adding to life or my art career in some sort of way. And as a result of those choices, I never gave myself free time to do other things that I loved, like gaming. And as a result, I barely ever touched New Horizons, like hardly at all. And it's really, really sad because I really, really wanted to play that game, but I never truly allowed myself to truly play it. Last November, I pulled out the game and I was like, I am actually going to start playing because I want to. And I'm not going to tell myself that it's a waste of time, because if it's something that makes me feel happy, then it's not stupid and it's not a waste of time. And if I want to feel creative, I should do stuff that pours into my creativity and, just allow myself to live, essentially. Animal Crossing has really grown to mean a lot to me over these past few months. It's been really fun, and I've really been enjoying myself playing it. I've also been watching, there's a one streamer, you guys probably have heard of her, but her name is Dish, or her real name is Dara. And Dish has been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, as well as she's been going through Kingdom Hearts 2. She played Kingdom Hearts 1, and now she's on Kingdom Hearts 2. And she's like one of the few streamers that I actually genuinely will watch their live streams, and I just really enjoy her as a person. I really admire her authenticity, and you may not watch her now, but you may have watched her a few years ago, because Dish was one of the first big Genshin Impact content creators, but lately she's been shifting more into creating variety content and playing other games and pouring time and effort into her other hobbies. And I really admire that about her, because sometimes I've felt quote-unquote stuck in my niche as well. That's why I kind of want to make videos about teaching myself nail art Because nail art is art, but I'm like, I feel like my audience wouldn't care. But ultimately, I'm the one in charge of my channel. And I know for a fact that doing what I feel passionate about is what will make me feel creatively fulfilled in the long run of doing YouTube. Sometimes it takes the courage to do what people have never seen of you. And I think Dish has been very open and honest about that she has been receiving a lot of backlash, and where's Genshin content? We want more Genshin Impact content. And then she has to just move on because she doesn't want to upset those people by saying to them, my interest is elsewhere in gaming and content. And there's a lot of people who just can't handle that because people grow to put you in a box and expect kind of just one thing of you. And then when they see you not do that, you learn that people actually didn't care about you. They just cared about the product you were producing. Which, in a way, can be good, because then you weed out who is and isn't your true audience. But it can be a scary thing to do. And taking that step is scary, but it's admirable. But what I was saying about Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy VII, through being at her streams and watching or just passively listening to her play those games, it's gotten me really interested in the worlds of Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy, and indirectly I've grown to love those games as well. And Kingdom Hearts specifically gives me a big sense of comfort, and in Final Fantasy there's a character named Aerith, and Aerith has truly grown to be a very meaningful character, not just to me, but to a lot of fans. The thing about Aerith I admire is that through all the tribulations and frankly the horrors and the awful experiences and awful things that occur in the world, she chooses to unapologetically and resiliently meet everybody with nothing but love. And loving people first, above all things, is very, very powerful, and also one of the hardest things we could ever do. So, I really admire Aerith. I think Aerith is a great character, and her story means a lot to me, and I think we all could learn a lot from Aerith. You know, I guess another game that has become very meaningful and profound to me is Infinity Nikki. For me, it's more so the impact that it's having on the gaming community, because if you haven't heard of it, Infinity Nikki is a newer, like, open world adventure fantasy dress-up game, and it's been described as like a mix between Mario, Legend of Zelda, and classic Barbie. All of those things are very, very much so up my alley, and the creators of Infinity Nikki are very aware that there's a lot of gamer girls out there who would adore this game, and since its release, it has captured the hearts of so many people, and that's honestly really amazing and encouraging to see, because even though we don't think about it too often, the gaming sphere as a whole, ever since its beginning, has always been super male oriented, and girls who like playing video games have to play games, whether they realize it or not, that are more catered towards a male audience. The creators of Infinity Nikki are very overt when they say that Infinity Nikki is made with the female audience in mind. And I think that's really amazing and long overdue, because while there are games that are made like for both the male and female audience, like I think Pokémon is a good example of a game that does a good job of being both male and female oriented. And so Nikki is very much so for the girls who grew up playing games like Mario and Legend of Zelda, but who also played games like Barbie dress-up games and the Pixie Hollow dress-up games, and loved watching the classic Barbie movies growing up, and loved having fun dresses and wearing princess outfits. Like, that's who this game is made for. And I, for one, think that's amazing that a game like that finally exists. And like anybody who likes gaming can play Nikki. Like, Nikki is intended for a female-oriented audience, but guys can play Nikki too. Like, guys can play Nikki and enjoy it. And I think that's really cool. I haven't played too much of Nikki. I really want to play more, just because from what I have played and from what I have seen about like the stories and the outfits that you can build, I really want to get into it more. It's just that same issue of I just don't really have the time right now for games, even though they are very inspiring to me, and they're pieces of media that I think are very beautiful. I guess in the similar vein of Harry Potter, talked about this before on my channel, like several months ago, when the Percy Jackson Season 1 show came out. I very unexpectedly really enjoyed Percy Jackson, and after watching Season 1, I really wanted to dedicate myself to eventually reading the books, because I never read the books when I was younger, and I think it would be something worthwhile. I'm also trying to get into reading more, because I think that'd be a very cozy, relaxing hobby to have. And I really don't read, and I really want to become more of a reader. Like, I read for school all the time, but I feel like that's different. And I wanna read for the fun of it, because I know that that's an area where I'm kind of weak in, and I want to read more. So I said a few videos ago I was going to try and read all the Percy Jackson books. And do you want to take a guess at how many I've read? Drumroll please! I've read a total of two Percy Jackson books. I know. I read the first one not long after I watched the first season, and then for months I did not read Percy Jackson at all. And then just a few days ago, I finished Sea of Monsters, and I really liked it. And I guess spoilers, I'm excited to see Tyson, and I'm excited to see more of Percy and Annabeth, particularly the scene with the sirens, because from the book, that was like my favorite, one of my favorite parts of the book was when Annabeth was being tempted by the sirens and Percy had to save her. It's kind of like Harry Potter when Dumbledore is talking to Harry and he's like, I need to drink this entire potion, and if I drink it, it might make me paralyzed, or it might make me want to end myself. And he's like, no matter what, Harry, you have to make sure that I finish the potion, or else we cannot get the thingy thing. So it kind of felt like that a little bit, drawing that parallel. And I think it'll be fun to see Grover when he's kidnapped by that Cyclops. I think that'll be like probably one of my highlights, because Grover is one of my favorite of the Percy Jackson characters, and I really like his interpretation of the character in the show, and I think his actor does a fantastic job of characterizing Grover. So yeah, looking forward to that for sure. I love Hedwig. Hedwig is adorable. And then I'm gonna go like this. That is very, very pigmented. Holy cow. Holy moly, guacamole, guys. I'm gonna have to add some water to this. Maybe it can be a little bit gradienty, you know? I don't know if I shared this before, but when I was a kid, I had a kind of traumatizing experience with birds. And so ever since then, like all of my adolescence and growing up, I've had kind of an avoidance and fear of birds. But I think growing up and seeing penguins more, and now seeing Hedwig, it's making me like birds more. But I guess speaking of Harry Potter, because I've been talking about it on and off so much, I think after I finish the movies, I also want to try and read the books, because having looked more at the Harry Potter fandom online, there's a general consensus that the movies tend to leave out a lot of very important details that the movies didn't have the opportunity or time to include. And apparently in the books, Ginny is totally different, and she's like humorous, and she has some spunk to her, and I'm like, that Ginny sounds amazing and worth reading the books alone, you know what I mean? I've also heard that like the series itself like gets older with the audience. Like the first movie is like, oh my gosh, wizards and goblins and magic and like as the story goes on, it's like, whoa, evil that's gonna destroy the world, and murder, and good overcoming bad, and people losing their lives, blah blah blah. It gets very overwhelming very quickly, but it's cool to see kind of a story that matures along with its audience, and I really hope that that's the approach Percy Jackson takes. Pretty cool if you ask me, guys, pretty cool. Let's destroy for a bit, and then I will do the gel pen parts. Yeah. Okay, this is the end result. It's my Howie and Hedwig. They're so cute. It kind of looks like she's smirking. That's supposed to be like the fluff around her beak, but it literally just looks like she's smirking. Maybe she is, I don't know. Maybe Hedwig is a sassy queen. Thank you for watching this really, really chatty and frankly longer than I expected video. It honestly felt kind of, you know, podcasty, which, you know, if you liked that, let me know, because it actually was kind of just fun to yap and draw and have kind of a stream of consciousness type video. I obviously did not get to the Hermione drawing. I think purely for time's sake, I will not record that, but I will probably finish it on my own time. Another day, maybe, I don't know. Thank you for listening to me yap and watching me draw. It really truly does mean a lot to me. So, I will see you all in the next video, whenever that is, and I will see you all later. Bye bye bye!